welcome back to the My Math by McGraw-Hill homework tutorial. I'm Mr. Galvez, and today I'll be looking at the Chapter 12 Geometry section, Lesson 3 on classifying triangles. In this lesson, we'll see that triangles can be classified based on one or more characteristics or attributes. Triangles can be classified based on side measurements. Hence, and that's why we're gonna need a handy ruler for this section. And B, triangles can also be classified based on angle measurements. And to measure the angles of a triangle, we will need a handy protractor. This is that protractor I printed out the other day on my computer. The book has small triangles in it, so I couldn't use a more standard sized protractor, and I shrunk the protractor down in size to this little guy, closer to 2-3 inches in size. So when we're looking at classifying triangles by sides, we're going to see that triangles can be classified 3 different ways based on size, or sides rather. Number 1, we're going to come across a triangle called the Isosceles Triangle. I'll draw a triangle for short. Isosceles Triangle is simple. It's a triangle that has 2 sides congruent or equal lengths. Okay, so if one side measures 0 to 5 centimeters, another side also measures 0 to 5 centimeters, but a third side measures 4.5. So this is 5, 4.5, 5 centimeters, 5 centimeters long, 4.5 centimeters long. As long as 2 sides are equal length, we have an isosceles triangle. And I'm going to let you know that these 2 sides are equal with 2 hash marks on each side. This third angle that's a different length, I will not give it 2 hash marks. I can give it just 1 hash mark. Okay. Number 2. Classifying triangles based on sides. We can come across the equilateral triangle. And that's easy. Equilateral, you can think of the word equal. Now we're going to come across a triangle that has equal sides all the way around. So here I'll draw a triangle that measures 1 inch on this side, 1 inch on this side, 1 inch on that side. So all sides are 1 inch. 1 inch on this side, 1 inch over here, 1 inch over here. And I'll denote that they're all equal length by giving them each side 1 hash mark. So as long as all sides are equal, we have the triangle called the equilateral triangle. A third triangle we'll come across is called the Scalene Triangle. And then the scalene is different from the other two because each side is different in length from the others. So if one side measures 1.5 inch, the other side measures 2 inches, the third side measures 2.25, so this is 1 inch, this is 2 inch, this is 2.25 or 2.25 inch. Each side length is different. None are alike. So I'll denote that with 1 hash mark for this side. The 2 inch, I can give it 2 hash marks. And for the third one that's different, because it's different than the others, I'll give it 3 hash marks. Okay. Let me get this over here, we can see a little better. There we go. Okay, that's the scaling. So triangles classified based on sides. We've got the isosceles, 2 sides equal. The equilateral, all sides equal. And the scalene triangle, no sides are equal in length. Okay, now the second classification or characteristic of triangles is when you look at them based on angle measurements. And when we come across a triangle based on angle measurements, we may have to use, or we may need a protractor to see what's going on with these triangles. Now, as you might recall from the protractor, we're going to use this flat line here to help us in our measurement. We're going to align one side of the triangle with this side, and then the other side of the triangle needs to be aligned to one of these degree measurements. Okay, so if it's a very flat triangle, it starts over here at 0, goes to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, all the way across over to 180. Now, if you go all the way around in a circle, how are you going 360 degrees? Okay, so now for one classification of triangles, we're looking at the right angle. I'll draw an angle right there. In a right angle, we will see that one of the angles measures 90 degrees. So if I use this little handy ruler, protractor over here, I'm going to draw one straight line, give a mark over here at 90 degrees, connect these sides, and now this here angle is an even 90 degrees. Okay, just because one angle is 90 degrees, this is called a right angle, a right triangle, I mean. This is a right triangle. The other angles will definitely not be a right angle. As a matter of fact, these two angles are going to be called an acute angle, and I'll explain in the second classification based on angles. The acute angle, the acute triangle, I'm sorry. The acute triangle is noted by having all angles less than 90 degrees. Okay, so every single angle will be less than 90. So if we have one angle that is, let's make this less than 90, we'll call it 60. If this angle here is 60 degrees, okay, this angle here will have to be less than 90. This one measures at 50. 50 degrees over here, using a protractor to make these measurements. And this third angle down here, we'll find has a measurement of 57 degrees. Okay, so as long as they're all less than 90 degrees, we have a triangle called the acute triangle. And the third classification of triangles is the triangle called the obtuse angle. Okay, the obtuse angle. Now, in the obtuse angle, by the way, just a side note, don't let anyone call you an obtuse kid, because obtuse is a synonym for not very smart, not very bright. Okay, but for the obtuse angle, we will need an angle that measures, at least one angle that measures over 90 degrees. Okay, so if I use my protractor over here, I've got to figure out that I'm going to have one angle, one side, and to create one angle, I do need an angle that's 90, more than 90. I'll give this one 120. Pause right there. So this angle here will measure 120 degrees. Okay, so obtuse angle. One angle is greater than 90 degrees. If I connect these two points over here, these two vertice points, these will wind up being acute angles. As a matter of fact, this angle here measures 30 degrees, and this angle over here measures 25 degrees. They're each a different measurement. So I'll give this one a 1 hash mark, 2 hash marks, and 3 hash marks, just to indicate that each one is a different measurement from the other. But as long as I have one angle that goes up above 90 degrees, in this case 120, I have the obtuse triangle. Okay, so to recap, we're looking at lesson 12, chapter 12, lesson 3. We'll notice that triangles can be classified based on two different attributes, size and angles. If we're looking at sides, we'll see that we may have an isosceles triangle or an equilateral triangle or a scalene triangle. Isosceles, two sides equal length. Equilateral, all sides equal length. And a scalene triangle, no sides equal length. When we're looking at angles on a triangle, if we have one angle that measures 90 degrees, that's going to be a right triangle. If we have all angles less than 90 degrees, we're looking at an acute triangle. And finally, if we have at least one angle that's greater than 90 degrees, such as this one that measures 120, then we'll have an obtuse triangle. Okay, and that's the basic gist of lesson 3, classifying triangles. Please do your assignments. Please do the homework assignment. Please do the independent study. And I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Thank you very much. I'm Mr. Galvez.